I've already shared dozens of my favorite Mac applications with you here on the channel, but here are 11 more Mac applications that I wish I knew about sooner. Now, first up is Bloom, and this is a modern alternative to Finder, and it has a ton of customizability. And the very first thing that made me fall in love with this application is the fact that you have multiple panels here. So you can see multiple paths at one time. So you can see I have this folder right here, documents here, and my SSD over here. And I actually have this saved as a workspace. So if you want to have things separated, you can go up here to workspaces and save them. So I have a workspace for leisure. So it shows the 3 tabs I've set there, and another, group right here, another workspace set for work that shows the folders I access most when I'm doing work. And the search is also much better in Bloom than it is in the default Finder application. So all you have to do is press on tab right here. And once you go into a folder, we'll just go to desktop, for example. Actually, let's go to documents right here. If we tap tab again, that will take us into the documents directory. And now I can either, add on to that directory, or I can just search for something like iPhone. And when I search for that, you can see it will show me all the results in there that have iPhone in the name. And I can go even further as well. So I can say online. So iPhone online, now it will break it down to just these ones. And you can also search easily inside of a folder when you're in this view right here. So you press on Command F, you could search right there. If I just search for something like zip, so if I find a zip file right here, you can also view the contents inside of an archive before actually opening it. So you can see over here on the right-hand side, that will show us the contents of that, archive without having to fully unzip it myself. There's also a lot of customizability within Bloom. So you can see all these settings right here. You could easily change the date format, the resize columns, sound effects, thumbnails, skip volume check when dragging, all these different things. Restore last session is a nice one to have. There's just a lot in here. You have appearance, you have control, sidebar, workspace, all of these. Now I do also want to mention Portal. Portal is pretty interesting as well because this is a window that floats above other windows. If I were to go into something like Safari and then I open up Bloom and I go to open a Portal window, you can see that this will kind of just sit over here while I'm inside of Safari or inside of any application. It doesn't even have to be an application. It could just sit over here on the side of your screen. You could always access your files right here. So if you want to drag a bunch of files, if you know you're going to need to keep dragging them, this will stay pinned to, the top of all windows and stay here. So you could easily drag or transfer files into another location. And you may as well make Bloom look fun. Since Finder, you're very limited on how that can look. Let's just go ahead and change the appearance to something a little bit more fun. So we could change it to a color like this, or maybe like green, for example, to kind of match what we have going on right here. You can also change the font. So if you have a specific font that you like, you could change that here as well. So let me just change it to something like this. So now you have a much more fun browsing experience on your Mac. Next up is MediaMate, and take a look at when I change the volume over here on the right-hand side of my screen. We have a very iOS style look right there for the HUD, for the volume HUD. And the same goes for the brightness. When I turn my brightness up or down, you can see that we have that really cool, really fluid look for those buttons. Now you might have also seen up at the top, we do have a notch for now playing. Even though I'm using a notchless device, it will create a notch there and kind of show me what's now playing, which is pretty neat. Now if we go into the settings here, you do have some options to change, what this looks like. So you do have the style right here. So you could choose the classic or the notch. Along with the system, you can change this from classic, circular, notch, or iOS. So the circular is pretty cool. It will show over here on the right. It's really small, very minimal. And same for the notch. You could change that to, be on or off completely. If you go into right here, if you don't like the now playing, you just turn that off completely. That way you only have the, brightness and the volume. So this is where you change the style though. I think iOS looks the best. It just really looks good with macOS Tahoe. And by the way, you can click and drag to move this as well. And also if you don't want to see the values, you don't have that right there. I just have the label turned on, but you can turn that off if you want it to be more clean. And you can also change the position on the screen. So if you want it to be like down on the bottom, for example, you could do that. Or if you want it to go up to the top, you could do that as well with that style. I just find right to be best for me. You also have the ability to hide the HUD after a certain amount of time and so on. There's a lot you could change in here. Now take a look at my dock down there. Do you notice something that should not be there on macOS Tahoe? Yes, that is the Launchpad, except for it's not actually Launchpad. It's an application called LaunchOS, and this is basically a Launchpad alternative for macOS 26 Tahoe. So when I click on that, take a look at that. it looks like we have Launchpad back in macOS, but that is because of this application, which works very well. So it will show all your applications right here in this nice view. You can also search for applications up here. So if I search for Final, it'll show me Final Cut Pro right there. It's very fluid. It works very fast, just like the native application would. We also have our settings right there. If you tap on that, you do have some additional options for how the icon looks in the dock. You have the interface, you have the apps, all of that right there. I would also go in here and hide applications if I were you, because it does show everything in your applications folder, but you can also change the style of this as well. So you want this to be paged instead, like the old school way where you go across like that for pages, you can do that. I just find it easier and just better to have the interface set to scroll so you can kind of see everything in one look. You can also set a hotkey to launch the application. So I have mine set to the bottom left. You can also have a trackpad gesture set up to launch LaunchOS. So if I go down in the bottom left, you can see it will trigger that, and I can just go down there again to hide the LaunchOS application. This is really handy for pulling up applications quickly and searching for applications very quickly if you're not using the Spotlight search. The next app you need to download is from our partner MacPaul, and it's called Moonlock. You see, I get a lot of emails with attachments, and since my work machine has so many important files on it, I need to keep it protected at all costs, and Moonlock helps me do just that. macOS is already pretty safe in terms of viruses and malware, but it's not invincible, so that's why I like using the malware scanner to scan every corner of my Mac for threats. But honestly, you won't need to manually scan very often, since this uses real-time protection to continuously monitor your Mac. And if Moonlock detects a threat, it'll alert you and quarantine the threat so that it can't steal any data or spread further, and once you review it, it's easy to remove. There's also Network Inspector, which can basically serve as a spy detector, since you can block apps and websites from sending your info to countries you choose. But this app is more than just a malware protection app, because with system protection, it goes through all of your system settings and points out anything that can be improved, like with privacy permissions or encryption. Oh, and here's a really nice bonus. Moonlock also comes with a VPN built in as well. Just choose your optimal location and it'll connect and give you a new IP address. So if you want to try out Moonlock free for 7 days and also get a 10% discount afterwards, be sure to use my link down in the description below to start protecting your Mac today. Now, speaking of hot corners, the next application is called CCC Corners, and this allows you to launch your favorite applications from corners without any type of accessibility permissions needed. So if I go up into the top left, for example, of my screen, take a look at this. What happens when I go up to the top left? It pulls up Safari. I go up there again, it hides Safari. So that is thanks to the CCC Corners application. And that's actually up here in my menu bar as well. If you click on that, this is where you basically configure everything is from the menu bar right here. So if you go into this, you can see up in the top left, I have it set to Safari, but I have it set to be with a modifier, as you can see to the right of it. Now in the top right, I have reminders. So right here, you can see you do have the option to choose any of these applications that you would like. You could do it for the, all four corners. So reminders in the top right, if I pull that up right there, it will launch the reminders application. It's over here on this screen. If I go up in the top right again, it will hide it. But what's neat is that you could set the activation modifier to only be for specific corners. If I only want the top left corner to be, option and go up there with my cursor, I could have that set and none of the others. So that's cool. Now we also have second activation triggers. This is what I really like about this application, because this allows you to have a second activation. So this is what I was showing you. When I go up to the top right, it shows reminders. When I go up there again, it hides reminders. Now, if you want that to be changed to minimize the app or completely quit the app, you could choose those options as well. And you can even customize this further as well, because you could have different corners do different things. So you can get really specific with this right here. So you do also have the ability to change the menu bar icon and also the icon position and the sensitivity of the hot corner. So this is something you might want to adjust as well if you find that you're activating it accidentally a lot. And again, the cool thing about this app is that it does not require any type of accessibility permissions, which is great if you are somebody who's concerned about that. Now take a look at the top of my display right now. I am using a Mac Studio display. That does not have a notch. However, you can see I have a notch up there, and that's thanks to the boring notch. Now this works if you have a notch. It works actually better if you actually have a notch, but if you don't, it will create a virtual notch for you up there. And this allows you to transform the notch experience, because it gives you these really cool, music controls. You get a quick look at your calendar right here. You have this little inbox right here where you can airdrop files straight from the notch, and And you also have the ability to see yourself quickly if you activate that. So if I go into my settings to appearance, and then down to the very bottom, we have enable boring mirror. So if you go into that, if you turn that on and we go back up to the notch, you can see this little icon right here. It looks like a webcam. If you click on that, that will access the camera and show you a quick view of yourself over here in the far right corner. So here's what it looks like when something is playing up there in the notch. It looks very similar to the live activities in the dynamic island on the iPhone. So that's kind of what it, got its inspiration from, and you can see what it looks like right there. This does work in Safari as well. And I'm a calendar fiend, so I love any application that shows me a quick view of my calendar. So I like being able to see that up there as well. You can also change the HUDs. You have the batteries if you want to show the battery indicator. If you have a MacBook, it can show that up there as well, as you can see right there. So you do also have these shelf shortcuts and different advanced options as well, but really just a better way to get more out of your notch. And this is free as well, so that's a big pro for this application. Next up is Peggy, and this is a very simple drag and drop image converter. So I'm a big fan of image converters, as you guys have seen here on the channel. And what I like about Peggy and why it's a little bit different is because it lives in your dock, and it's built to instantly convert your image files and also multi-page PDFs into JPEGs with just a simple drop. So if I take this PNG here and I drag it down to my dock, here's Peggy. If I just hover over the top of that, you can see what will happen here. So I hovered a little bit too long. Let me do that again. So hover over Peggy and let go. And you can see it instantly does it right here. It will convert it to a JPEG right away. And like I said, this works really well for multi-page PDFs as well. So this is like a 18-page PDF. If I just drag this down here to Peggy, it will automatically convert that to a JPEG very easily and quickly. And here's where it converted everything to a JPEG. So it created a folder of the PDF, name, and each page right here is saved as an individual JPEG file. So it's very handy, and I really love Peggy because it's free and it's just so simple and lightweight. And it lives down there in the dock. It's just really an easy way to convert images without really having to think too much about it. Next up is Updatist, and this is kind of like the latest application I covered before, but this is a paid option. And what this does is it allows you to see all the applications on your Mac and if they need an update or not. So this includes Homebrew applications, App Store applications, Sparkle applications, Electron applications, and even GitHub projects like GitHub applications. It shows all of them in one place right here. This does also include any like web extensions you have. And what's cool about this is that everything happens locally on your Mac. So it will detect updates even for manually installed applications. So if you manually installed something, it will check for updates on that as well. And you can see it does show it right here. And it shows this green arrow for being updated. It shows the previous version, the next version, and it shows all these informations about it. It shows the framework, when it was released, when it refreshed, the developer, what's new in that update. It basically just compiles everything in one section. And I just love how it has everything built in to one right here, especially if it's an app you haven't opened in a while or you turned automatic updates off. And it makes it easy to download and install all these updates with one button. So I can update all 9 of these right now by clicking on this button right here. Very easy. Next up is Numi, and this is a beautiful calculator application that kind of just thinks the way that I think. So I can input what I'm thinking in my head and it understands it. So for example, if I put K instead of 1,000, it understands that. If I put M instead of million, it understands that and gives me the result right here. I can click on it easy to copy. I could do things like 20 euros minus 5% and it shows me, the result. And you could even do things like dates. So like if I put in today plus, 2 weeks, for example, it will tell me what that is going to be. Now I don't even have to put in weeks. I could just put in 2W and it will understand that W is weeks. And I could put, minus 5 days. But again, I don't have to put days. I could just put minus 5D and it will understand that D is days. So it really just thinks like you think. And I love that. I also love how easy it is and how good the interface looks and how you can just click to copy each of the results and it shows everything in line right here. So Numi has become my go-to calculator application and it's what I use for everything. Like if I type in 500K, plus 1 million on Spotlight search, you could see that it will not give me the answer. So it doesn't understand the K's and the M's and things like that. Also for dates, I use this pretty much, at least a few times a week. I used to always use the online converters to see like what's 75 days from today. But now, I can do that. I can just put today plus 75D and it will tell me exactly what that date is right there. So there's just a lot of really handy things I use Numi for, and I think it's one of my favorite calculator apps I've seen. Next up is our command, and this is a really cool application that basically reimagines what the command tab can do because it switches to applications based on their first letter. So all you have to do is hold the right command key. So this only works for the right command key, and you will see it gives you really clear instructions down here at the bottom so you can focus the assigned application, and it shows you all the presets right here and if you want to basically ignore certain applications or not. So like I want to have reminders for R, and I can have rise as well. I can go between those. So if I press command, the right command key, and R, it will launch reminders. If I press on it again, it will launch rise, another application that starts with an R. I press it again, it goes back to reminders, and so on and so forth. So that is really cool. It's a really easy way to launch applications without really having to think about looking for a specific application. As long as you know what it starts with, you can launch it very easily. So this seems small, but it's actually a big time saver, and it really helps me open up applications quicker. Next up is launching. This is a simple app launch switcher that allows you to access different applications from this little wheel right here. So you press a keyboard shortcut that you set up, and you can open up these applications very easily by just simply letting go when you're on that selection, and it will open up that application. So this is really cool because you could also have this set to open up certain applications. So if you go into the settings for this, you can see you do have the wheel launcher. You can have this set to show only the running applications, so show all your running applications, or you can have it set to show user-defined applications. You could add all those applications as well. You could change the menu appearance. So this is the medium size. If you want this to be large, you can see that is what the large looks like right there. And then here's what extra large looks like. So you could choose that to your liking. I find medium to look the best for me, and you do have these other options down here as well. But this is just a quick and easy way to get into certain applications. And the final application is a very simple one called Music Decoy. And all this does is it stops the music application from launching when you press the play button on your keyboard. So that drives me crazy. So as long as the Music Decoy app is running, the system music application will not launch when you accidentally press that play button on your keyboard. So I hope you enjoyed these 11 Mac applications that I've not covered yet here on the channel. So I like to bring fresh, new, under the radar applications here on the channel. So if that's something you like, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I like to bring a lot of these Mac applications to you guys in these videos. So if you enjoyed it, let me know your favorite app down in the comments below. Also, let me know if you have any apps that you like that you think I should cover here on the channel. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.